Today is Meatloaf Sandwich Day. You're going to want to stick around because I have an idea of something you can do with your leftover meatloaf other than just the typical cold meatloaf sandwich. You're going to want to see this. Hi, I'm Mary Catherine. Welcome to my table. Okay, so earlier this week we made meatloaf. And if you didn't catch that recipe, check out that video. I'm going to link it here so you can check it out too. It's delicious meatloaf. And like I told you that day, if you thought you weren't a meatloaf fan, you still need to try this recipe because it's the one that changed my mind about liking meatloaf. All right, so I've got 2 pieces of leftover meatloaf. You've always got a couple extra slices left. So this is what we're doing with our extra meatloaf today. We're gonna make a delicious meatloaf sandwich. Okay, I'm gonna flip it over. We just let it go just a minute or so on each side, just enough to warm it up a little bit. This has already been cooked just a minute or 2 on each side, just enough to heat it up. That's all we wanna do. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start assembling the sandwich. And first, I'm just going to take some marinara sauce and just coat one side of the bread with it. You don't need a lot on this, just enough to give it a little flavor down there, help your meatloaf stick good. There we go, that looks good. So now I'm going to take our meatloaf out of the pan and I'm going to put it on this sandwich. Now this bread is really extra large. I'm going to flip this one over so they come out like that. Okay, this is extra large bread. This is sourdough bread that I bought already sliced in the store. It's a little different than what I typically use for the meatloaf sandwiches, but I couldn't find what I normally use. So I bought this and it will make a delicious sandwich. It's just a little bit bigger. So you may have to split this sandwich with somebody. It's going to be so big. Now we're going to take a little more of the marinara and we're just going to run it along our meatloaf on the top. That looks like about right. Gonna spread it out evenly as best we can. And then we're gonna take a little bit of mozzarella cheese. And we're just gonna sprinkle that all across the top of our meatloaf and marinara. This is just going to elevate your meatloaf sandwich a little bit. I mean, it's not going to be cold. It's going to be warm. You're going to have some added flavors. It's kind of like a meatloaf Parmesan sandwich, really. And so once you've done that, then we're just going to top it with our other slice of bread. Mash it down just a little bit. And then we're going to grill it just like we would grill a grilled cheese sandwich. I'm going to put a little bit of butter on the outside of our bread. Not too much. You don't want it to get too soggy, just a little bit, just enough to crisp it up. And I'm going to take just a little bit of garlic powder and sprinkle on this here. Not much, just a little added flavor. And so I'm going to take our sandwich. I'm going to carefully place it in with that side down. And while it's there, I'm going to go ahead and butter the other side of the bread so that when we flip it, both sides have the butter on top and the garlic powder. Just a little more sprinkle of this for this side here. And that's all there is to it. Now we're just going to let it cook on medium heat. You don't want it too high. You don't want it to burn too quickly. You want that cheese to have time to melt on the inside of the sandwich. So we have it on about medium high, and we're just going to let it grill. In fact, I may turn it down just a little bit. That may be a little bit higher than I want it to be. And so just let it go a couple minutes on each side. Check it, see when it gets to the golden brown point that you like your sandwiches at, and then flip it, and we'll do the other side. Oh yeah, it's getting toasty. So we want to flip it. Oh, that's good and grilled, yes. And so we'll let the other side go for just a couple of minutes. Yep, that looks perfect. Flip it over, you can see that side, golden brown. All right, so as you can see, that was really easy to put together, and it only took a few minutes. and it just elevates your meatloaf sandwich a little bit. I mean, my husband loves a cold meatloaf sandwich, but he really loves this grilled meatloaf sandwich. Try it for your family today. Thank you so much for joining me at Mary Catherine's Table. If you like this content, I hope you'll hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you think. When you try this sandwich, comment and let me know how you liked it. If you have any other ideas, I always want to hear those too. Thanks again for joining me.